Hey there. Hi, everyone. I hope you're well. It is Odessa, Doctorate of Natural Medicine, Womb Wellness Coach. And today, for this episode, I want to have a conversation with you about why it's time to heal your chronic illness so you can teach others to do the same. And when I say you can teach others to do the same, we know that one person is able to exhibit or exude activities and actions that inspire other people. And so, whether you're actively searching to support other people or you're just looking to do this work on your own and you have a passion for that, you inadvertently learn the tools needed to be able to support others. And so, why it's time to heal your chronic illness so you can teach others to do the same. This is what today's episode is about. So, I want you to raise your hand if you're tired of waiting to finally take care of yourself. Okay. There are so many reasons why you're finally ready to commit to your natural health journey. And this could be because COVID and the pandemic have made you realize it's time to take your health seriously. How many people do you know, do I know, do we know that realize that they have not been caring for their bodies, and because they have had time to be home with themselves, they're seeing that their physical being, their mental state, they're not in a good place, right? You've wanted to get pregnant before it's too late. This is what you're focusing on right now, and you don't have the kind of support you hoped to have. And you're looking now, actively looking for support, for help, for direction, for guidance, accountability on this journey. You're ready to be happier and you feel it too. And this is like that precipice, that anticipation of something is going to happen. You can feel it, you can almost palpate it, it's almost tangible. You're on your way to just nudging yourself further on into something, and this is a beautiful place to be in, and it's always a pleasure to be able to walk women through that transition in their life. You want to be accountable to yourself now on this journey of health. Okay, on this journey of natural health, the level of accountability is required. The level of accountability that is required is more than what you've held yourself to in the past, right? If you have arrived at this point where you are ready to heal your chronic illness and you have been making some efforts here or there, but you feel as though you're ready to be accountable, hold yourself accountable, this really means that you've got to stick to the promises that you make yourself, right? Like, you know that you have arrived at the point where if you say it, you have to do it. If you make that promise, you need to follow through. If you start it, you have to finish it, right? This is where we find ourselves at this point of the journey. You are also ready to see results. It's often the case for many, many women, many, many people, practitioners included, who start the process, get some results, and then fall off and don't understand why you're not getting results. And this could be for a variety of reasons. You're taking the medicine wrong, you're not taking the medicine at all, you're not eating properly, you're sneaking back and doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're not doing the right thing in the first place, or you're just not even trying. You're purposefully putting yourself in harmful situations, right? And so if you are ready to see the results, it means that you're ready to have the level of accountability, honesty, and transparency that one needs with themselves when you're on the journey of getting the results and seeing the changes in your physical body to gain the desired outcome. No pain during your menstrual cycles, reduced fibroids, successful pregnancies, the whole life, right? And another reason might be because you just don't want to have another doctor's appointment. And this too, how many of you have gone to visit your primary caregiver and you leave the office and you don't have more insight than when you arrived, and you actually may feel more frustrated because you felt gaslit, they weren't listening to you, they didn't take the time, or maybe they took the time to listen to you, and didn't have any suggestions that you found to be valid, helpful, or moving you along in a way that is sufficient, right? That suffices. You also realize that there's what's on the other side of womb wellness, right? And this is so crucial because when you fully engage in this process, when you give yourself permission to engage in this process, there's, peaceful periods that you begin to experience. Like how many of yous are bracing yourself for day one, right? You've got your Midol, you've got your naproxen, you've got your Empaset. Like it goes down sometimes, right? You have everything prepared because you're going to be conked out for the next 10 days. This is the reality for some of my clients who I'm working with, right? And so, you're ready for peaceful periods. You might be ready for those successful pregnancies that you've been desiring. You understand that self-care and preservation is a priority. When you start to walk the path of womb wellness, this is non-negotiable. It's non-negotiable because you can perceive just how precious your time is once you really pour into your body and see the changes that happen in and outside of your beingness, right? And you begin to create healthier boundaries. Who has access to you? Why do they have access to you? How much time do they have access to you? You know what I mean? And are you gifting people with your overflow, or are you, draining your own, capacity because you're giving from an empty cup, right? Like, what are these boundaries? You are learning the ability to speak up and speak out because your level of safety and security within your own physical body, within your own liberty, your own expression of who you are, the confidence of what it is that you need to say, and knowing the words behind what you have to say is there, right? You have the ability to better understand your emotional traumas and patterns. Okay, now I don't know what womb program who's offering such in-depth combination of modalities and therapies, but more specifically, I know for me, when I'm doing this work and I'm working with clients and I'm showing, participants how to walk through this process of healing, healing isn't just about I have to eat this particular food. Healing is about I need to understand the condition of my body. I need to understand the emotional pattern that's holding me because, when you have an illness or you're compensating for something, if I'm leaning on this arm here, eventually my arm might get, stiff and it might hurt, and I might move it and I might have a frozen shoulder. And because I have a frozen shoulder, I may not be able to turn my head. And so, I might be I might present a little bit more in this way. And if this is how I'm presenting, then this is, part of the pattern, the holding pattern that I'm in based off of this particular issue that I've not dealt with or that has developed that I'm not aware of, right? And so as a result of that, all of the proximal and distal, obvious and not obvious conditions, problems, and issues that are coming up, this is what you're experiencing now. So you begin to recognize and see the emotional trauma, the emotional pattern. Give thanks for that, love, and then you understand how to support other women around you in a healthy way, right? You have that confidence, and it doesn't even have to mean that you are on that trajectory of wanting to support other women in your community by virtue of you being able to help yourself, as beings who are nurturing by nature, and we create community by nature, you will naturally begin to support those women, children, friends, men, cousins, people, folks around you in a way that's healthier, right? And so, and then you begin to feel confident because you know what to do for yourself. You've walked through the basics of the process. You've rinsed out the method a couple of times so you can see how you've applied the work, how the detox has worked for you, how the clean eating has worked for you, how your organs have changed, how your skin is brighter, how your mind is clearer, how your menstrual pain, your period, your everything, is different, you know, and so you know how to replicate it and you know how to take it a step further because you will be learning the herbs and the application and the preparation of the herbs and just the understanding of the ins and outs of how to get the healing that you want. And so by nature of that, you feel cleaner, you feel healthier, you feel happy, healthy, and whole. And that is, you know, the key to attracting what you desire, right? Because you can be, you know, doing the physical activity, but you can have a really shitty mindset, you know, and so you're attracting negative experiences and problems and accidents. You know, accidents usually happen right after you've thought something negative or you've had a negative thought. Really pay attention to that and see if you can catch it. And if you do, come back and let me know. But you attract what you desire by your mindset. And if you are doing the physical activity, but your mindset isn't in the right place, then you know you're attracting things that you don't want. But if your mindset is in the right place and your physical activity is not in place, then your body is not going to be able to respond because your inspired action, one of the universal laws of inspired action, is not able to engage to get the physical body to catch up with the state of the mind, right? An example of that would be, you know, people with severe disabilities who can't move, but their mind is brilliant. It's a very extreme example, right? But it's like the body can't keep up with the state of the mind, the mindset, the capabilities, you know, the flexibility of the mind because it's not being exercised and it's not being used, right? And so when you start to piece these things together, the mind, the emotions, the thoughts, your beliefs, your actions, your desire, everything together, the feeling of wholeness, right? And satiation, right? There's a feeling of presence. There's the ability to lean back, right? And that right there gets you remembering, right? Remembering in terms of your mind and who you are and your connection to your lineages, to women, to your mother, the mother, feminine essence, really understanding the mix between masculine energy and feminine energy. Everyone holds masculine and feminine energy. And so when you start to integrate all of these pieces together, that level of harmonization is available to you. You know, if you say yes to your deepest desire, and if you're saying no to the fears that keep you stuck in unhealthy patterns, unhealthy relationships, unhealthy jobs, unhealthy thought processes, and unproductive habits, right? So by stepping out and trusting what you need to do, right? What you know you need to do. This is the area of life that we're in right now. When you know that it's time for you to take your chronic healing, chronic conditions, your healing of chronic conditions into your own hands, right? This is where it is. And so it's as simple as messaging me and starting up a conversation, right? What you're missing out on is finally having the well thought out expert information and support you need in a curated environment. Great work. Gotta hop off. Keep rocking. Give thanks. With other women who have the same version for themselves, excuse me, the same vision for themselves, right? You're looking for an environment with expert advice, expert direction, a curated community with women who have the same vision as you, who can hold you accountable and motivate you on that journey. And this is exactly what the practitioner self care and feminine healing training represent. This is what, you know, we are all about. And so I want you to DM me. I'm ready. So we can get this conversation going. I look forward to hearing from you and having this conversation. And I just want to let you know that when you do DM me and we do get on the call, you can get access to the 40-minute womb health assessment program benchmark test. And this will give you an idea of what kind of gaps you have on your healing, on your wellness journey, and what kinds of steps you may need to take. So when we get on a call, we can have a little bit of clarity as to where you are. So please feel free to DM me the word healing and let us start this conversation. Take care wherever you are. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening.